What's up YouTube, Jacquin here, and I wanted to make it cool. Oh, my voice cracked, oh my goodness. I haven't really done this. What's up YouTube, Jacquin here. So I haven't really done a video like this before. If you've been following my YouTube channel at all, I've uploaded all street hypnosis, speech hypnosis videos, but I want to take a break from that schedule to upload a video basically talking about how I got started in hypnosis. A couple of my followers on Instagram been asking me to upload a video like this where I talk about getting started, how I became a hypnotist, my struggles, my failures, basically what it was like, why I decided to become a hypnotist. And so I'm going to do a video just talking for a few minutes about what that was like and that experience, and hopefully include some sort of tips if you're someone that wants to learn hypnosis or is interested in learning it, how you can go about doing it. So initially for me, I got started actually in magic, just like a lot of other hypnotists typically do. Got started learning card tricks after my sophomore year of college, so about 2.5 years ago. I just decided I wanted to pick up a hobby. I've always thought magic was fascinating, was interesting, was really cool, and I just decided I wanted to learn it. I knew absolutely nothing about magic at all, couldn't even shuffle a deck of cards. Like, I was the 52 pickup, mix them around and shuffle them type of person. Like, I knew nothing about cards or magic or anything. Finally, into my sophomore year, I just decided I'm just going to go for it, I'm going to do it. So I started learning magic. I started just looking up other videos on YouTube of tutorials, how to do simple tricks and shuffles and things like that, and started learning. It was literally ground zero, like I said, no knowledge whatsoever, but just started doing it, started performing, started practicing, and just learned magic. And after the first couple months, really fell in love with not just card tricks and doing tricks for other people, but really the presenting and the performing. The more I got into it, the more I loved it, started getting into books and DVDs and other resources, and really taking my magic seriously. And so I would say I really just got the performance bug, really just fell in love with performing, and tried other things in addition to magic. So tried a little bit of stand-up comedy to improve my performances, did a little bit of improv comedy, and eventually I decided, why not hypnosis? And my senior year of college, it was October, so about 2 months in, I thought, why not? I knew of a couple other magicians that performed hypnosis too, and so I thought, I could learn it. I learned magic from nothing, so I can learn hypnosis from nothing, right? And so did a little bit of research and digging, trying to find some different books, some DVDs, things that might be good to start. And I heard a couple of recommendations that the DVD, The Manchurian Approach by Jacquin was a great resource to start. And so I got that DVD, and I said, all right, I'm going to watch this DVD, start learning hypnosis. And then there was a hesitation at first, because it was middle of October, so right in the middle of the semester, right close to midterms, pretty busy time of the year. And the hesitation was, maybe I should wait and put off learning hypnosis until winter break. I'll have off from school, I'll have a lot of time, be able to do it. And then I thought to myself, why not now? I have 2 months between now and winter break. Even if I put half hour a day, an hour a day into learning it, I could learn it now, and I could already be so much farther by the time winter break comes around and learn even more. So I did. I started watching the DVD, and I told myself I'm going to finish the DVD by the end of the week. It's a 5-hour DVD, so it's perfect. 1 hour Monday through Friday. And then I told myself I am going to have hypnotized somebody by the end of this week. That was the goal I set for myself. I was determined to do it. So I said, I'm going to make this happen. That's what I did. I watched an hour of the DVD each day, finished it up on Friday. Still was super foggy about it and barely knew what I was doing, because all I did was watch a DVD, and I learned a little bit, but my initial reaction was, that's it. Isn't there more techniques or principles or things I need to know? But the DVD showed me what it showed me, and I said, I need to start doing this. And it actually had worked out perfectly, because another friend of mine that's also a hobbyist magician will go out and perform on campus a few times in the semester, so we'll just go out to the student union building and just do some card tricks for people. And we were doing it that Friday. We were going out performing some magic, so I thought, this is perfect. Right, I just watched the DVD on hypnosis. I said I was going to hypnotize somebody by the end of the week. It's Friday, it's the end of the week. I'm performing. It's do or die time. We've got to do it. And so when we were doing card tricks, I would do a card trick for a group we'd go up to, and then I'd say, hey, I've actually been learning hypnosis. Do you mind if we try some things, if we do some hypnosis? Of course, not telling them I've never done it before in my life. I just picked up the DVD 4 days earlier, but having the confidence to say, you know what, do you mind if I try this? Can we do it? And did it. Now, totally failed, okay? The first few groups that I did hypnosis for, one, I barely knew what I was doing, because again, I started learning 4 days earlier on DVD alone, that's it. So tried a couple things that I saw on the DVD, tried to do what it taught me, didn't really work out. Partly because I barely knew what I was doing, like I said, but I just had the confidence to go for it and do it, and eventually I got someone where it worked a little bit, just a little bit, right? I had someone have the experience of going into a hypnotic state. They were able to have the experience of being stuck to the chair they were sitting in, and then they lost their name for a moment and then brought it back. But it was something. It was something. It was a very little spark, but I realized I did it. I hypnotized somebody. I came through. I put myself out there. I failed, but eventually I succeeded. And that was just such a, like, gosh, like I did it, happy moment. And then a couple weeks later, I had the opportunity to MC a retreat that I was going on with a bunch of friends, one of the student orgs I was involved in. And out of their retreat, I just made an announcement at the end of the day saying, hey, as kind of a fun special thing, because I'm the cool MC, right? I'm going to do hypnosis at the end of the night for anybody that wants to do it. Because I know hypnosis. Again, not telling them I had done it one time, I'd watched one DVD, and that was my entire extent of hypnosis. But I said, you know what, we're going to do it, we're going to have fun. And maybe 30 people showed up and was like, sure, we'll do some hypnosis. And I attempted a version of a stage show. I just tried to do what I had seen people do in stage shows, the shows that I had seen, tried to mimic that to an extent. I had a couple people up front that wanted to try it, maybe like rows of 6 to 7 people. 6 to 7. Let's call it 7. It's such a small range. But anyways, maybe 7 people up front that wanted to try it, and I was just trying to focus on each person individually, that as I kept going person to person, I would lose the next person, and then I would do the next person and lose them. And it was just a mess, because again, I had no experience, I barely knew what I was doing. I was just putting myself out there and trying it. I did get 2 of those 7 people that were, again, kind of somewhat of a state of hypnosis, were able to do a couple of things, which is really cool. But the people that were watching it, they thought it was the coolest thing ever, because my failure to them was at least a success. And so for me that was really cool, like pat on the back, like, yeah, I got more than one person, even though it was still fresh, still new, still learning. And so that was kind of a cool experience. And so I continued to learn more about hypnosis. I got the DVD Induction by Spidey, a Canadian hypnotist. Watched that DVD, and that DVD was less about learning hypnosis and the skills about how to be a hypnotist, and more of putting together a stage show, hypnotizing multiple people, which was part of how I failed in that attempt at the retreat, trying to do it a lot of people at once and struggling to go back and forth. I had a cool experience of over Thanksgiving break, hypnotized one of my brothers at home, and he was a great candidate for hypnosis and went super well. Almost did like a mini show just for him, kind of went through a full 45-minute session, having him do a whole bunch of crazy, silly things, and for me that was a lot of fun. It was really cool. It was probably the first experience for me hypnotizing somebody well, having them do super crazy things in hypnosis, and it was really awesome. Did that went really great, and that really inspired me, right? My first real success, a real great candidate that went really well, so I really was super serious at this point. I said, all right, I'm going to really learn as much as I can. Picked up 2 books. I picked up the Ultimate Encyclopedia of Stage Hypnotism by Ormond, McGill, and Hypnotherapy by Dave Elman. 2 great, extremely foundational books. If you want to learn hypnosis, highly, highly recommend those books. Now, they're not easy reading. The Ultimate Encyclopedia, right, you can tell by the name, is a pretty big book. 600 pages, Hypnotherapy, 300 pages, so it's close to 1,000 pages of reading. I finished both those books in 3 weeks. I was just hammering away, 50 pages a day, killing it, learning, absorbing, trying to get as much information as I could, and really just soaking it up. Cut to January, so about a month later, was the week before heading back to my final semester in college, and was at an amazing retreat called Leadership Camp through my school. And as I kind of get to know people, one of the things I bring up is, oh, I do magic, I do hypnosis, and just kind of casually throw that out there, right? It's a great icebreaker. And so whenever people would hear that, they would immediately go, oh my gosh, you're a hypnotist, you know hypnosis, like, you have to try it, you have to do it, I want to see it, oh my gosh. And after hearing that enough times, I thought, okay, I should do it, I should just step out again and do hypnosis and see what happens. And so I decided that I would do hypnosis at Leadership Camp. And so a couple days into the retreat, I just made an announcement at the end of the night saying, hey, I mentioned to a lot of you that I do hypnosis, and a lot of you have been asking to see it. So at the end of the night, I'm going to do a show for anyone that wants to come check it out and come see it, and we'll have some fun and see what happens. Every single person on the retreat showed up. All 60 students that were there showed up at the end of the night to do some hypnosis. So I had the whole retreat there. And I was like, okay, I haven't done the show like this before. We'll see what happens. Long story short, it went so well. I was able to do a full 80-minute show, had 8 amazing volunteers up on stage, totally rocked it. It was so fun, so hilarious, such a great show. And even the people afterwards told me that was just as good, if not better, than paid hypnotists that had performed. People that got hypnotized by me told me, I've been hypnotized before by like actual professionals, and I felt deeper in hypnosis that time when you did it than other times. And to me that was such a cool confidence boost, not just to have done it, but to get this validation from my friends and the people I performed for to say, that was awesome, that was so good, that was just as good as paid hypnotists that I've seen do it. And I had that moment realizing I could have easily been paid hundreds of dollars to do what I just did. And that was my first time doing it, knowing I'd get better with practice, better with experience, can get even better than what I just did. And to me, that was one of the cool moments that I really took seriously. I could do this for real. I could be a professional hypnotist after I graduated. After doing that show, I was serious about, I'm going to figure out how to be a hypnotist, and I'm going to give it a go, and I'm going to see what happens. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I'm sure as heck not going to tell myself I didn't let myself try to see what happens. So I was serious, heading back into my final semester. I'm going to be a hypnotist after I graduate and see what happens. And so the next step of me being serious was reaching out to other professionals. And I just totally cold emailed the hypnotists that I knew of. So I emailed Spidey, the hypnotist that I got the Induction DVD from, emailed Chris Jones, the hypnotist that was on America's Got Talent that I had seen performed at my school once, and then emailed Paul Ramsey, the guy that performed at my school every single year at UNH. Just emailed these 3 professional hypnotists, just straight up, out of the blue, saying, hey, my name's Jacquin, I'm a senior at the University of New Hampshire, and wanted to get your advice on doing hypnosis professionally. I want to do this after I graduate. Do you have any recommendations, any tips, any advice for me going into this career? I got a response back the very next day from Paul Ramsey. Emailed me back the next day saying, okay, Zach, you had crazy timing. I'm actually in Las Vegas right now at a convention plugging a training I have starting up next week. Because at this point, it sounds like you've already learned, you already got some experience under your belt, but you really need a mentor to help hone you and guide you, and I'd love to do that for you. And my first response was actually, no, I don't know about that. I don't know if I should do that now. Maybe I'll do the training after I graduate. Maybe I'll finish up the semester first. Again, super busy time of the year, especially my final semester. So there's a little bit of hesitation about wanting to do this. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it happen. No time like the present, just like my initial time of thinking I'm going to start hypnosis now instead of on winter break. And so I just did it. I went for it. Started doing the training with Paul. It was amazing. It went so well. Grew so much. Really buckled down and got so much experience. My final semester reached out to a bunch of different dorms, res halls on campus, that I'll come perform a free show for your dorm just to get exposure, to get experience, to get practice. And most of the hall directors jumped at the opportunity to get a free performance, free entertainment at their dorm. So I was doing 3-4 free shows a weekend just to put myself out there, get experience, get practice, all the while I was finishing up my final semester, finishing up school. And so I was able to learn so much and grow so much from all that experience over and over. And the first few shows, I'm not going to lie, they were not good. They were not good because I barely knew what I was doing. I was learning, I was growing, was still figuring out. But that's how you get good, guys, is you do things when you're not good at them until you do it enough times that you become good at them. Nobody's an expert right away. Nobody's a pro right away. You become a pro, you become an expert by continuing to develop your skills, gaining experience, learning over and over, and letting yourself fail. Failure is the best teacher. I've learned so much from my failures, from all those shows, especially the ones that didn't go over well. And so really just got serious about doing those shows, practicing immediately after I graduated from from college. I graduated from college. I just went back in time 4 years. Yeah, right. Immediately after I graduated from college, I got certified with the National Guild of Hypnotists, got my certification through them, and then just hit the ground running. Got my website up and running, business cards, started networking, making cold calls, doing street hypnosis, starting up YouTube, starting up an Instagram account. I didn't even have an Instagram account until March, so like 6 months ago, not even. Eventually I got my first paid show in August, so last month. I have another paid show I'm doing this month, and it's been the slow progression of getting out there, putting myself out there, getting practice, doing training, getting mentored, getting certified, and now less than a year since I started learning hypnosis, I'm at the point where I'm making hundreds of dollars to do paid shows. I'm starting to gain a following here on YouTube, on Instagram, doing really well for myself. And it all just started with me deciding I'm going to learn hypnosis and I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. It's still so crazy for me to think about the fact that less than a year ago, I knew nothing about hypnosis, had never read a book, never watched a DVD, never done it for myself. I had seen a couple shows at my school and that was it. And now here I am, less than a year later, making money off of doing shows, making hundreds of dollars per show. This is my full-time job right now, doing what I love to do, to perform for people, be in front of an audience, put on a show, entertain people. And here I am doing it after I graduated. My own boss, my time is my own. And it's still slow, right? I'm only getting a couple of shows a month. I'm going to get there. It's still the very beginning. I've only been doing it professionally full-time for 4 months since I graduated college back at the end of May. But here I am, making it happen, serious, and it's the mindset, guys. That's the biggest thing that I hope you take away from this video, is it's the mindset that today is the day. Right? Your future is determined by what you do today and not tomorrow. And there were so many moments over and over through my journey that I said, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to watch this DVD starting today. I'm going to hypnotize somebody starting today. I'm going to perform for my leadership camp today. Take advantage of this opportunity. I'm going to start mentorship today. I'm going to start performing free shows today. Going to start now. I'm going to start getting certified immediately after I graduate. Going to start today. And it was just over and over and over moments of me saying, yes, I'm going to take this action. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. I am going to become a hypnotist, and here I am. Again, it's been less than a year. This is only the beginning of my journey. I'm so excited to see what happens, to see where it goes. The sky is the limit, and I'm just going to continue saying yes to opportunities, continue to put myself out there, continue to work, continue to grind, and we'll see what happens. But it started with me just going for it, saying today is the day, I'm going to do it, putting myself out there, investing into books, into DVDs, into training, into mentorship, and really being serious about making it happen. And hopefully you were encouraged or inspired by some of it. If not, maybe you got something out of it. I don't know. But that's me. That's my story. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking it out. We'll hopefully have some new street hypnosis videos coming soon in the coming months. Have a paid show I'm doing soon, so I'm excited about doing that. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for videos. I always feel so bad. Like, please subscribe and like the notification bell. Ding! Right? Just, if you like me and like my content, want to see more, subscribe so you don't miss it. Check out Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I don't even use Twitter anymore, but I have a Twitter if you want to follow me. Yeah, check that out to stay in touch with me, and see you guys at the next video. Alright. I have no idea how long that was. Let's see. Moment of truth.